Hello everyone, my name is Mark. Earlier this week, a friend of mine reached out and said, "Hey, I got a new job over by where you live. Do you want to hang out sometime?" And I was like, "Great, awesome, move across the country. It sounds exciting. Happy to get together. What's the name of the company?" And they told me the name of the company, and then we did some digging, and it turns out that this is quite clearly a multi-level marketing scheme. Now, the good news is that we caught it before she moved across the entire nation. The bad news is these companies exist because they work, and people fall for them all the time. So I figured I'd put together 7 quick tips for spotting multi-level marketing scam jobs. Don't do what I've done. I've applied at so many of these jobs and I was just getting started in the industry. So learn from my mistakes. Here are 7 things you can be doing to protect yourself from these people. The first thing is that you want to look out for any company that says they want to do direct marketing. A lot of the times, these companies aren't lying to you, they're deceiving you with clever language. Because if you come back to them and say, "You told me I was going to be doing marketing," they say, "No, you're doing direct marketing." And what direct marketing is sales. And it's not fun sales. It is stand in a Costco and sell bamboo pillows sales. It is sales where you stand behind a booth somewhere and sell a terrible product like cable or solar panels or something that nobody really wants to do, that you're going to be waving at people from the side of a Target 24/7. If you see direct marketing, it's a massive red flag because it's not what you signed up to do when you first got into the industry. It's really just sales. Sometimes it's called like face-to-face marketing, in-person marketing. It's not what you signed up to do. If you see these, run for the hills. The second is a training period. The training period serves 2 purposes. The first is that it filters out the people who are going to fall from the scam from the people who are too wise to it. Because if you get into the training period and you realize that this isn't for me and it's not what I signed up to do when I got into marketing and you dip out, they're perfectly happy with that because they want the people who are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed getting into the industry and are going to fall for the scam. A lot of times they target people like fresh college students who are just getting into the industry. They'll target immigrants. They'll target anyone who is really striving for the American dream of taking the bull by the horns. And if they just work hard enough and if they grustle hard enough, they'll make it to the top. It's all a lie. The training period that you're supposed to have is in college or in an internship or at an actual job. It's not to help teach you the ropes of marketing. It's to filter out the suckers from the people who are too wise to their scheme. The second thing they're trying to do with this training period is they're trying to pay you as little money as possible. The entire point of the scam is to siphon off as much money as possible and give as little back to you. And so what they're going to do is in some circumstances, if you're young, they will pay you less than minimum wage. And then if you're not young and in other circumstances, they will pay you exactly minimum wage. Do not expect a single dime more because you're there to siphon off as much money for them as possible. They're really hoping that you fall off during this time because after this you get paid full commission. You don't have a base pay at all. It's just if you're a true diehard and you want to sell pillows in a Costco, congratulations, hope to sell a lot of pillows because that's the only way you're going to be making your money unless you build your own business. So that's what they're trying to do. The second half of what they're trying to do anyways is pay you as little as possible. The third is the idea of be your own boss or run your own business. This is going to sound really harsh. If you are in your early 20s and you want to get into the professional world and someone reaches out to you and says, "Hey, I want you to be your own boss," that person's an idiot. You don't know anything yet. You need to have some experience before you're ready to go out and be your own boss. What they really mean by be your own boss and run your own business is they want you to come and join their pyramid by building a smaller pyramid below it. A lot of times what they'll do, and this is an easy way to catch them, is they will say, "Hey, just pay me some upfront cost to get your business up and running, and I'll help you through the process," all right? If they're asking you to pay to start your own company, that's a scam. You can do that basically for free. If you see someone reaching out to people who have no experience in the industry and promising them that they can be their own boss, don't fall for it. It's an obvious red flag. Next is the quality of their website. An actual marketing firm will have a good website. By now, you're probably in your early 20s. You've probably lived on the internet your entire life. You can feel what a good website and a bad website look like, all right? If you're going to be working at a proper, serious marketing company, you want a proper, serious website, not something that someone whipped up in Wix over the course of an afternoon. All right? This one's more of a feel, but you'll know it when you see it. Next, invisible people. If you are being contacted by a recruiter and you have a hard time finding them on like LinkedIn or any other major recruiting platform, that's a serious problem. A recruiter's entire job is to be very public and to be promoting the product that they're selling, which is jobs. So if you can't find your recruiter very easily, or they're kind of dodgy about where they work, that's a massive red flag. And they often get around this by giving you hundreds of other green flags along the way. They're going to say, oh, you crushed that interview. Let's get the second interview scheduled right now. Typically we have a separate process for this, but you seem really engaged in this. Oh, you crushed the second interview. Why don't you come into our office and see what we're all about? If they are distracting you with green flag after green flag of trying to lure you in, and you're not willing to take off the blinders and figure out who these people are, that's a massive problem. If you can't find your recruiter, it's because they're either ashamed of what they do or what they do is really sketchy and they don't want to be tracked back to it. Keep an eye out for it. Next, are you a W-2 employee? This one I had to rely on my lawyers for. W-2 employees are proper employees in the corporate world. If they insist on making you a 1099, it's because they know something that you don't, and that's that 1099s have the legal right to lose money at their jobs. That's right. According to the US government, if you are a 1099 employee, you can't just go to zero. You can go to the negative because of the job that you're working. And a lot of times these companies want you to be 1099s, that way you can lose money at your job and not sue them. Make sure you're a W-2. That's just like in general in the corporate world, but especially when it comes to these scams, they're going to try to make you a 1099. It's a massive red flag. Finally, the CEO LinkedIn loop. If you can perform this loop successfully over and over and over again with the company that you're looking at, it's probably a multi-level marketing scam. First, you're going to find the company CEO, all right? Most of the times, these companies will have a page that's labeled Our Team. Click on that and look for any major red flags like, I've been in the industry for 2 years, or I started off in biology, but now I'm running a marketing firm. Crazy, whoa. Lack of experience is not something that you want to see in a CEO. Lack of experience is what you should have in like an entry-level position. Someone like you, if they look and sound a lot like you, it's because they were you 2 years ago applying for this very same job. Next, you're going to find that CEO on LinkedIn. It shouldn't be hard to do. They're the CEO of a company. They should have a rather public profile. If they are hard to find as a CEO of a marketing firm on LinkedIn or any public place, that's a massive red flag. They're trying to stay hidden because they don't want to be traced back to what they actually do. Duke's really excited about that one. Next, once you've found them on LinkedIn, find the company they worked for previously. This should be available on their bio. If it's not available on their bio, and they don't have any work experience, that's a massive red flag for your CEO. You shouldn't want to work for them anyways. Once you find the company they previously worked for, check out that previous company's website and compare the first company with the second company. Because a lot of time, the company they just worked for will be doing the same exact thing that they're doing now. I'm selling pillows in a Costco. And the company I worked at previously was selling pillows at a Costco using direct marketing. A lot of times, these companies create and spawn the exact same company below them. And that's how they become their own boss, by doing the same exact thing they were doing at the previous company, just with a new pyramid below them. So that way they can funnel up money to the top of their own pyramid. So that person can funnel up money to the top of their own period, etc., etc. If you can trace this loop back and back and back and back and back, it's a scam. It's not hard to do, especially with some of these very obvious ones. So those are 7 things we talked about today. Again, major warning signs like direct or face-to-face marketing, a training period where they don't have to pay you and can only do commission, when you want to be your own boss or have a managerial fast track. No, they don't. They're trying to suck you into making your own company be below their company. A massive red flag. If their website's atrocious at a marketing company, you probably don't want to work there to begin with. Next, invisible people that are surprisingly dodgy. Have a vibe check. All right, trust your gut, especially when it comes to the company you're going to be working at, because your gut's going to tell you things that your brain is going to be walking right past. 1099s, you don't want to be one. You want to be a W-2 in this industry. It's just kind of the way that it is. And finally, the CEO LinkedIn loop. If you can complete that, it's probably time to run. So those are my 7 tips to help you avoid being a sucker. And I want to clarify this. If you've been in this situation before, sucker's the wrong word, but it's the most apt word for the moment, because it is preying on your desires and ambition to fulfill that American dream of being your own boss and really, really making something of yourself, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, right? It's preying on that ambition to sucker you out of your money. It's not worth it. And then when you see your peers falling for those, stop them. Don't let them throw their time and money away, because the worst thing that happens is they join one of these, they last a few months, they're embarrassed by it, they lose a whole bunch of money in it, and then they can't put anything on their resume because they don't want to raise their hand and say, I fell for a multi-level marketing scam. It's all downhill, and the very few people that succeed and build their own business are the exception and not the rule, and even they are suckers of someone else's game. So, if you have any questions, let me know. Hope this helps, and I'll see you at a later date. Ta-ta.